Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse Benedetti with JB HIIT, and I'm here to shine a little spotlight on one of my members and somebody I have known. A friend of mine has been maybe for like 6 years. It seems like now it's been forever. TEYSHA, and we started together. I was a coach way back a long time ago, and we've just continued to work together throughout all the years. We help challenge each other a little bit, stuff like that. But I wanted to bring her on because she's had wonderful transformation, and it was just something that was needs to get some credit for it. So I want to first introduce TEYSHA. TEYSHA, say hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that she gets a little attention for this because it's a really amazing thing. And a lot of people talk a lot about, and I've done it myself, about wanting to get like six-pack abs. They really look cool. But there's a lot more involved in it. A lot of people don't realize the journey that you have to go through, the mental aspect of it. And they just think, well, I don't want to do that because it's too hard, or I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. It's not necessarily something you want to do for the rest of your life. It's just about the journey of it. I do remember TEYSHA had telling me a long time ago, and over the years, that she's tried to get six-pack abs for a long time. She eats clean. She works out like a freaking beast. Anybody that knows her, and it's just hard. So you would think, like, if TEYSHA doesn't have six-pack abs, that it's just probably genetics, or it's her body type, or who knows? It could be anything. And then I introduced her to a super friend of mine, Lisa, who is a super expert on nutrition. There she is, at Lisa House for Life, if you want to get a hold of her. But I introduced her to Lisa, and in a 90-day challenge, it was huge. You wouldn't think you'd look at TEYSHA and go, wow, she looks great. But then all of a sudden, bam, she was sculpted. I mean, it was just like night and day difference. And now you look at that and you're like, well, that's not something I want to do. But it wasn't necessarily about the exercises or about the journey. It was about the learning process and just kind of finding out how hard it was. So I wanted to talk to TEYSHA just a little bit. And I wanted just to get a little bit about this, about your journey from you personally. So first and foremost, congratulations. That was freaking amazing. And it's still something that you're working on. So still continue, congratulations. How long had this been a goal of yours?
It was always something like a New Year's resolution, like, okay, I'm going to get six-pack abs. I'm going to get six-pack abs. But saying and doing are two totally different things, right? So I would say it and just keep doing the same things without really changing anything. Maybe not drink alcohol or not eat as many carbs at night. But it wasn't really anything I was actually dedicated to, actually learning how to find someone that could direct me in actually accomplishing that goal. So it was kind of more like a wishing and hoping than that actually, like, okay, who can actually get me to this goal? How can I actually accomplish this?
And did you think that it would take less or more time, 90 days? It doesn't seem like a lot, like relatively speaking, after trying to do this. Did you think it was going to take more or less time?
Well, I'm impatient, so it couldn't take, I was like, well, what's going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And then saying, like, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, it's coming, but you don't want like super fast results because what comes easy won't last. Right. So, it just has to be developed, and you want to maintain like your health, and you don't want to look like sick or do anything drastic because that's not going to be good long term or sustainable. So you need to be able to establish the habits. And I actually like to learn about health and nutrition, because when I can learn it, then I won't constantly need to kind of ask questions. In a way, like, you're always going to be learning, but once you learn it and you get it, it's easier to maintain than just like not really understanding the whole reason behind why you eat certain things or why you eliminate certain things. So I actually thought it was fun, and it's always fun when you're in the process of accomplishing a goal versus just like, okay, I got a six-pack and then now what? It's
Right.
fun to be in the accomplishment phases of it.
So let me ask, well, a lot of people don't realize this part of the journey also. Like, what was it like mentally? I mean, I'm sure it was challenging, but for you, like, what kind of stuff did you learn about yourself that you weren't like you didn't know, or stuff like that?
Well, the great thing was, I mean, Jesse, between you and then when I spoke with Lisa as well, you guys both were like, listen, if you are a foodie and you like to go out and you like to enjoy food and you like to have drinks, like, don't do it, which is like very honest. So mentally, it's kind of like you got to be willing to give some things up. You can't continue living and doing all of the activities and, you know, enjoying cake and cookies and all of this stuff that people are used to eating, and then expecting results. You have to be able to say, okay, what's more important to me, that meal every single night at my favorite restaurant, or accomplishing a serious fitness goal? And so once the decision is made, then it's not difficult. It's just like, okay, so I need to change everything. I need to change my diet. I need to basically stop going out, stop drinking, stop like eating at my favorite restaurant and kind of eating whatever I was wanting to, and just focus on what the goal is and shift everything. But that's okay, because like I wanted the results more so than anything.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. And I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people have this same mindset. They think it's all or nothing. I mean, granted, you have to sacrifice all of that stuff at the beginning, but have you gotten to eat other stuff since then, since you've accomplished your goals? And if you have your abs just disappeared?
No, they don't disappear. Um, I have one cheat meal one time once a week. And even my cheat meal, it's Lisa had to kind of beg me to take it, because I get so disciplined that it's kind of like I don't even want the cheat meal, because you work so hard for something and then you're like, I don't want to ruin it. And I was kind of worried my abs would be like gone the next day. And they're not. Like, everything's fine. I even had 2 cookies. And it's not, you know, you just get back on track the next day. But what's really interesting is that you learn a lot about your body and why your body is tired the next day after a cheat meal. It's because you're consuming things that your body is still processing, so you don't have as much energy and you might feel slightly lethargic, which was something new to me. So then it kind of almost makes me question like what my cheat meal is going to be, just because I'm so disciplined. I'm beyond, I amaze myself how disciplined I am, to be quite honest. But it's like they don't go away. It's fine. And you know, you can just get back to the drawing board, keep doing what you were doing that accomplished those results. And they're always going to be there for the most part, unless a serious life shift happens.
That's a good point. And I wanted to ask you something that a lot of people also don't realize as they're going through this, because they think if I talk about my goals, and if I talk about stuff, they're like, well, this is your whole life. This is what you do, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. But let me ask you, you're married, you have 2 jobs, you're constantly going down to Mexico. I know all this stuff because I've known you for a while. And did you have to put your life on hold to do all of this? Did you not travel any? Did you not have a good time spending with your husband? Did you quit your jobs? I mean, what happened?
Well, actually, like, luckily my husband has been pretty supportive, and he has helped me like make my meals, and he's kind of like gotten used to that. So I'm grateful for that. But it's just kind of like you do what you have to. And when I was going away, then Lisa helped me with making a diet plan that I could take, and like kind of sort out. And she's so great, because I could always text her and message her anytime if like, okay, my yogurts got taken away at the airport TSA, so now so it's just like certain things like that. And I just kept on doing the habits. You just have to make time for it. Like, yeah, okay, maybe sometimes I would get to bed a little bit later or than I wanted to, or I have to wake up like a little bit earlier, like 10 minutes earlier, to make sure I can like make my shake. But it's really not like, I don't really feel like it's that much of a sacrifice. It's like you make time for the things that are important to you. If you have kids, you make time for your kids. If you have whatever that you're doing, if you have to get to work and the trains are delayed, then you have to schedule that ahead of time. But that's for things that are external. How about something that's internal, that's for you, that's healthy, that's a natural benefit, that's a goal that you can achieve? Like, those 5 minutes aren't going to kill you if you wake up a little bit extra earlier to get your food prep done, or go to bed a little bit later. There's time in the day for what you prioritize.
That's great. That's great. Just one more question. This has been great. really informative as you've gone through all of this. If there was any piece of advice, because I don't know if a lot of people, I don't know if you realize, like at the beginning, and when we talked about this at the very beginning of the year, and you talked about this, I was almost trying to talk you out of it by telling you how hard it was going to be, because I know it's a struggle. So I want to make sure that you knew what you're getting yourselves into. So people got to know it's going to be hard, but it is attainable. It is possible. If you had any piece of advice to anybody that says, okay, I want to try this, or this is something I want to do, TEYSHA has motivated me, inspired me. What piece of advice would you give to anybody?
First, decide what you want and what you're willing to give up to get what you want. Because you could want six pack abs, but if you don't want to give up, a couple of people like, saying, why are you doing that? Why can't you just eat a burger? Why can't you just have a drink with us? Or why can't, like, my boss has been like, all right, when are you going to be able to drink with us, for like happy hours? And I'm like, nope, not until I get my six pack, not until I get the ripples. They're like, okay, but then eventually they respect you. And I don't care about what people think. And I never have. And a lot of the time, if you want to achieve a goal that's this intense, then you can't expect that everyone is going to be supportive of you, but that's not a bad thing. And it's because then it just means that you're doing something that they don't care enough to do or don't have the discipline to do, which shouldn't make you feel any less. But you can't have everything. You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. You can have a six pack, but then you can't have that cheesecake every single night. So you just got to pick and choose for what you want and what's important to you. That's all.
That's great. That give me one more question. Has there been any alcoholic drink, any cheesecake, any dessert, any burger, anything ever that's tasted as good as what you did feels?
No, nothing tastes as good as the six pack looks.
Yeah,
and then cool because people look at you and they're like, wow, like you're shredded, you're ripped. And like, I'll go to a store to buy clothes and they'll be like, do you work out? I'm like, yeah, every day. And they're like, do you have a six pack? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, wow. Like, it's kind of like they treat you like a celebrity. And I'm like, I didn't do that much. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, just, it's changing your eating habits and staying consistent in your workout. Like, that's basically it.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's hard as hell. That's for sure. So that's good. Well, I appreciate your time, TEYSHA. Thank you very, very much. And go enjoy the rest of your beautiful day with that wonderful six pack. And I will see you again soon.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.